out the blue. I be minding my business.
Okay, you're live. Hold that thought.
Gang, gang.
Can you hear me in the mic? I don't think you can hear me, bro.
Boo, 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 boo.
Can you hear me?
I can hear myself.
Yeah.
Gang, 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 gang.
I don't
Block
think
off.
one of these ears on this mic work as well as the other.
Block.
You a professional.
Switch your headphones, Gigi. You got like 96 pair.
This is true.
Y'all nicknames is out this world.
I know, right?
GG.
Sound like something your grandma call you.
Hold on.
I have
It's
a-
under the chair.
Auntie named GG, so
You got it?
it just hit different.
There you go. There you go. A little more room for your buddy ball.
All right.
Buddy ball. Blocker.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to the 25th episode of the High Vibe Guys. I'm going to start that over because my energy was off. Welcome, everybody, to the 25th episode of the High Vibe Guys. You got your boy Boo sitting over on the end of the table. To my right, you have Asa repping up Pride. Wait, Pillars and Pride hoodie and empowerment. Well, one more time, starting over again. God damn it. I don't give a fuck. Welcome to the 25th episode of the High Vibe Guys. You got your boy Booze sitting at the end of the table. To my right, we have Asa repping the Pillars and Pride hoodie. What is Pillars and Pride, Asa?
It's I can't even just say it's a health food store. They got books in there. They got a chess table in there. They got the vibes. They got a yoga studio in the back. Future podcast room. A lot of things going on. But for right now, we can just say it's a black-owned health food store on Woodward and 7 Mile.
Bong, bong, bong.
Yeah, they just opened up like, what, 3-4 weeks ago?
Yep.
Bong, bong.
Been slapping.
They opened up. They got the Spirit of Detroit Award as well.
Yeah.
As they help rejuvenate that particular intersection, 7 Mile and Woodward, which is an area that definitely can use some revitalization, and they're bringing a lot of good things to the community.
Bong,
At
bong.
this point, I would just like to insert right here that they're doing something unlike the so-called world leaders, i.e. pastors. It's a pastor, right, who's supposed to be building a church, like, on the other side of 7
You
Mile
talking
right
about the one that's been in
Bruh.
development for the past 20 fucking years?
Bro, and it's still not complete, bro.
Oh, man, it was a funny
Come on,
ass
man.
meme about that church. That was like, I wish I could fucking remember it. But yeah, if you ever rode down Woodward in the past, I don't know, 15, 20 years, you have seen this undeveloped
Yeah.
church.
Talking about the giant
Man,
church.
Yeah, it's the size of a stadium. And hasn't been completed in the past 20 years. But anyway, neither here nor there. It's an easy landmark to find Pillars and Pride.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got your boy Asa in the building, who just hooked me up with one of his immune booster teas.
Cinnamon ginger flavor.
Cinnamon ginger. I think it has sea moss and soursop in here,
Yes, sir.
which I greatly need. It's refreshing, and I feel like it's increasing my energy for the podcast today. Like,
Check it
when I took
out.
a sip, I was like, man, I am prepared for the podcast. And if everybody inside the room had one of
Wow.
these prior to going to the air,
Interesting.
I'm just saying, if you had one, it's like
Man.
it's like a what's that bean they eat on
Ah.
Dragon Ball?
Oh,
the sensu
God.
bean.
It's like a sensu bean
Ah,
in liquid
interesting.
form. It probably tastes better than a sensu bean though.
Akil, yours
Man.
coming, bro. I got you.
Let's see. Asa got a nice herbal mate.
Hey, man.
For energy, Booze is drinking the equivalent of crack cocaine for the healthy conscience.
Hey.
Wow.
And
Minus the bad
I-
side effects.
Minus the bad side effects.
Dave got the Red Bull.
They've got the Red Bull and some coffee.
Haven't cracked it open yet. Just sticking with coffee and water for the moment.
Out
And
here.
But it was,
Yeah.
it was a long night, and I'm here until 10 o'clock tonight. So
Oh,
Preparation.
Dave is drinking coffee than a Red Bull. You are a fucking
Savage.
Yes, you are.
A monster.
it'll be the coffee, then the water, then as the evening goes on, and I need a little pick me up. Then it'll be time for the Red Bull.
He got it down to a science.
Dave gonna be raging with no shirt on at 9:30. Sheesh. And back to what I'm drinking.
Fresh oxygen from Mother Nature.
My spit.
Hey.
Appreciate you, Asa, for this spit that I'm.
So,
Whatever.
Yeah, they make it.
That was going weird. That was really going somewhere
in
else.
my first Tai Chi class by brother Ted Cash, yeah, he communicated to us the importance of not hawking and spitting out so much, unless you need to, unless it's like super mucousy, because your saliva houses chi and life force energy, you know. So you winning right now, bro.
Dude, all I do is hock and spit.
Well,
Oh.
come Come on, man.
All right.
More water. Less mucus building foods.
Sheesh.
Shout out to Dr. Sabi.
Gang, gang.
Yeah.
Most left intro we've had in a long time.
I swear, this
Hey.
boy about like 9 minutes.
And then to the last thing on,
To the
on the
last.
agenda, we got a kill over there.
I would like to also point out, after Booz's fifth reset, that after his first one where he said he didn't have energy, his change was becoming louder. He didn't give more energy; he just got louder.
Well, what is more
Hey.
energy? Then? What is more
this,
energy?
This is episode 25 of the High Vibe Guys.
What is more energy? Like,
This is Booz.
what is more
Asa,
energy?
the scholar,
What
the
do I-
plant
what do I-
god.
what do I do,
the-
though?
Oh no, I don't like that one. I don't enjoy that one at all. I want to give more energy. Hey, this is Booze. That's not more energy. It's just
Hey, man.
whatever.
We need more love in here.
Oh, it's
more
tons of
love.
love. It's tons of love in here,
Yeah.
boy.
Anyways, what we talking about today, man?
Episode 25.
Episode 25.
I think we're gonna cover just some ancient history, some ancient culture, ancient mystery type stuff. I think for all of us, man, I think it's a pretty interesting topic. We like talking about these types of things.
This is like daily conversations for us.
Daily conversation for us, definitely. And then a lot of our listeners definitely tend to appreciate this type of conversation. So it's a little bit left. It's something different. We don't have a guest per se, but I think it's just interesting dialogue about things that a lot of us find interesting that we have the opportunity to speak about on air and kind of explore. So one thing that came up a couple of weeks ago was us talking about dinosaurs. And this is a very highly debated topic. You know what I mean? It's like,
I wouldn't. You think it's highly debated? I think most people just assume that dinosaurs existed.
I do too.
Yeah.
But I
I
do think
don't think it's really highly debated.
I think
When you throw the facts out there, it ain't really nothing
But I
to
do
debate.
think I think there are different interesting angles. Like people who are religious, when they talk about like dinosaurs, I've had conversations with people who are like religious, like dinosaurs existed for like 15 minutes, and then like God wiped them out, and then next came monkeys and shit. It's like I've had these weird conversations about dinosaurs. I'll start off by saying that I am very open-minded about it because I know this is gonna go left, and that they're gonna have. I already know you guys.
There's such a negative connotation with things going left. That
Well,
means it's going to go off into the abyss like some crazy shit.
Well, what I was trying to say was that I said I had an open mind is what I started to say.
Yes, sir.
And then I said it's going to go left, as in you guys are going to probably have some things to make me reconsider my thoughts on dinosaurs, which
Open
is why.
mind, baby.
All I know is Dave got some responses in the chamber, and they
I
on
know
his,
he
they
does.
on his
This-
forehead
What?
right now.
I know he doing
What?
this shit.
It's ready.
Dave got to be one of the most educated dudes that I've been around. So,
Yes, sir.
and this is also really good for your personal growth to be able to have the ability to listen to somebody who may have a different viewpoint as you, or you know what I'm saying, and be able to process it and not build that wall up and be like, nope,
Yeah.
I'm blocking all knowledge coming in, and it's only knowledge going out. I don't hear nothing you say.
This the High
love
Vibe Guys, a.k.a. the Fuck Your Ego Show,
Facts.
basically.
Shout out to Instructor Ghost, who hit us with a nice axiom. He done got axiom in my vocabulary now for what ego really is.
I bet
So
you
shout
they
out
didn't teach
to
you that at Castech.
the word axiom.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
wasn't on any of your spelling tests.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it wasn't.
Pretty sure.
You want to have
sure.
you wanna have a spelling test at the end of the? No, you don't want that.
We could do that.
We don't want that. I just gonna be spelling stuff in the room that he could see.
CARCATBEEYES.
Wow.
All right.
We gonna cut that whole part of
I
the
swear to God. I swear to
Fucking
God.
ridiculous.
Let's get to these dinosaurs, man. What's up? What happened?
It's ancient history.
All right, so I'll just start off by saying, like, somebody could explain it to me 1,000 different ways, but big ass bones do exist. That's not debatable. They do create these structures that look like big ass fucking reptilian animals. I don't think that's really debatable either. I'm pretty sure somebody was like, you know what? Fuck that. They exist. The fucking big ass, I've seen them before. I've seen big ass fucking dinosaur bones be linked together. How they got here, the timeline, all that other shit, I don't know. You know, I don't think they're.
What do you think the timeline is for when dinosaurs existed
I don't-
through from what science says?
They died off 65 million years ago.
Okay.
That's
But when did they, like, when did, because
via
through
evolution,
science it says 215 to 230 million years ago
Is
is when
when-
dinosaurs first.
so probably. This is not one of my specialties, so yeah.
That's totally fine. And you said coming into it, like, I'm open-minded in this area, I'm just going off of basically what you've learned in your past and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is like between Jurassic Park and fucking like some dude on Discovery Channel wearing a fucking funny ass hat. This is the equivalent of my knowledge with this particular subject. So it's not like I'm coming in here and I feel like, you know what, read a couple of books and I'm ready to go with this. This is
Saw 3 YouTube videos, ready to challenge anybody who calls themselves an expert.
That's how most people handle it, though.
I haven't even seen 3 YouTube
That's how most people
videos,
handle it.
So this is where based off that's my and then I've been to a couple of museums and I've seen some nice ones. Like I've been to DC and seen the ancient I don't know, the Museum of National Discovery. I'm making up some shit because I'm sure that's not the name of it. But
LA has a really good museum if you're into dinosaurs. So
Well, yeah, because they had the La Brea tar pits. So, I mean, they had a lot of stuff. But like I grew up in in and around D.C. for a while, and to the Museum of Natural History at in the Smithsonian.
There we go.
It has a lot.
So I mean, like I'm open minded. Like I think we talked about this a little bit, like evolution, the history of human beings, all these things. Like definitely open minded conversation for me because there's like a lot of ways to spin it. And like we talked about before, schools, high level education works to support itself. You know what I mean? So it's like when ideologies and concepts go against what they've been teaching for the past 2, 3, 4, 500 years, they dismiss it. So I'm not always on board with what they have to say. They like the people who teach Egyptology are trying to defend what definitely you can tell at this point isn't accurate history anymore. You know what I mean? Like those people weren't light-skinned people. The ancient Egyptians, at least, weren't light-skinned people. They were black. They were brown-skinned. They don't look like the people of the country today because their country's been invaded many times over. So all that to say about the dinosaurs, though, like sometimes with the way things are taught, they're trying to support what they've invested their time into to create a concept. So that's why with dinosaurs, I'm open-minded. So I flip it to you guys at this point because I'm curious as to. I already know what Dave's coming with. Dave's coming with the heat. We coming with the heat. It's all right. We already know. You guys give me your spin on this because I'm curious.
You want to go first? My thing is, I just think that from here on out, and I think a lot of people across the whole globe will agree that we just need more of things that we can show and prove versus things that sound good, Because so many people believed in Santa Claus until they turned 8, 9, and 10 or whatever. Some people still believe in Santa Claus, It's so many people that believe in their historical religious figures like we'll get into. That's what I really want to phase into. But just that whole belief system thing. Like, it's nothing wrong with believing in yourself or believing something is possible. Belief itself is real, but don't get drowned in it at the end of the day. Because belief has a tendency to shape the way that we think and our perception, literally, like a puzzle piece. If you believe in a certain thing, and that's an analogy, like we would say, that's shaped like a circle. When somebody comes with something that fits like a triangle or a square, it's a wrap. You're not even trying to hear what they saying. You're not listening. You cutting them off. You don't even want to. You wouldn't even read a book with real evidence and hardcore facts in it. You won't even crack it open. And that goes for religions too. A lot of people don't understand that what they believe in, like even their religious texts, if you go to the origin of it and somebody tries to bring it to you to enlighten you or help you out on your path, some people are so dismissive and closed-minded. And I think that applies, to many different things, not just religion and dinosaurs, but that whole subtle science and situation behind the scenes. I think that we need to do a better job of being grown-ups. I think we're real childish mentally as a collective. That's just my feedback on that. Like dinosaurs and how they sound. Like, come on, bro. How did you put that together? Like, did you see vocal cords in the stones? Come on, bro.
Hey, man.
Opinions. People start to fly with them and rock with it.
Well, one of my favorite motivational speakers is a dude named Brian Tracy. And he, in one of his videos, he was talking about like you know, when you're like a baby, your brain is like a cup. You know, up until about the age of 8, your brain is like a cup. When information going in is like an open cup. Information
Programming
going in,
phase.
you're getting stuff in. At a certain age, that cup get a lid on it, and you stop taking in information. You stop. But that's not true all the way because, you know, like I'm 41 and I still feel like Boo said, his mind is open to a lot. I feel like if you come to me with the right information, with some, like Asa said, some nice concrete proof, then you can kind of get me to open up and not even just listen, but, you know what I'm saying, kind of understand where you're coming from. Like I pointed out, I believe it was our last show or the last couple shows or whatever. In this society that we live in, shit just don't match, man. Like theology and science don't go together. You know what I'm saying? And from
At least what they exposed us to.
at least what they exposed us to.
Science and
What-
religion, they
I'm going-
inseparable to a degree.
I'm going strictly off of what I was taught in school,
Okay.
where we're supposed to learn about, you know what I'm saying, the world. Like church is supposed to teach you about religion and God. You know what I'm saying? 90% of the world believes this. And school is supposed to teach you about history and XYZ, whatever. So having studied religions, theology, XYZ, whatever the case may be, if you are a believer of like Christianity, which is like the prevailing religion in the world, God created the world 6,000 years ago. So when was the opportunity for dinosaurs to be?
I've heard interesting.
I mean, if they lived for millions of years,
Yeah, I've heard interesting.
So
like maybe 1,000 years, and this time was different than 1,000.
and then I've heard people, I've heard
Well,
people's.
it's the metaphysical time.
Yep.
It's, you know, okay, God created the world in a day. Does that mean a 24-hour cycle?
Yeah,
Because
And that's what
time is a
I've heard.
man-made construct.
Yep.
yeah.
So is it a day? Is it an eon? Is it, you know, is it 6,000 years the way that we think of years?
The aspect
Is it-
of time is like 3 minutes, is 3 months, is 3 years, is 300 years, is 3,000 years.
Like-
Metaphysically.
So, like, not to sidetrack, but so, like, you're watching Lucifer.
Oh yeah.
And there's that time dilation between time in hell, time on earth. That, you know, okay, so he's gone, he's in hell for a couple months, earth time, but it's thousands of years in celestial time.
So, and I mean, I know for a fact just from, you know what I'm saying, doing research that the Bible is metaphysical in a lot of ways. The numbers mean things. When they say 40 days, it ain't necessarily 40 days. Like Dave said, 40 cycles of 24 hours. So I get that. I understand it. But for the uninitiated, because the initiated kind of read the Bible different than we do. For the uninitiated, the Bible is supposed to be literal. And then science is obviously literal. So where do these two giants of our world, what shapes us, where do they meet when it comes to dinosaurs? So it's either this really small amount of time that we've existed, which is quote unquote 6,000 years, or we've been here for like 66 trillion years or 6 billion years, or you know what I'm saying? So for me, that is the red flag off rip. Where are we placing the timeline of when dinosaurs existed? And then is science the end all be all of what we are basing the history of dinosaurs on?
I'm not. I'm just saying there's big ass bones, and you can't really debate that. That's what my whole thing is like.
So how do I know where? I've never seen a dinosaur. You ain't never seen a dinosaur. Dave ain't never seen a dinosaur. I ain't never seen a
I
dinosaur.
just
So
seen
how?
some people that look like dinosaurs.
Thank you.
You've
appreciate
seen
that.
but you've seen some things that are close. You've got alligators and crocodiles that have basically remained unchanged since the Mesozoic era. You've got Komodo dragons that are basically small dinosaurs, still walking around. And as odd as it sounds, you have birds. That's one of the things that's been probably the last 30, 40 years has been one of the big shifts in the paleontology, the whole study of dinosaurs and all that kind of stuff has been a lot of the dinosaurs evolved into birds, or at least it's the bird species that managed to carry forward. When the asteroid hit, and and so I guess and that's so that when you start talking about timing and things like that, it's okay. Well, what can you find and what can you prove? So it's to your original point. Church is supposed to teach you about religion. School is supposed to teach you about history and that kind of stuff. So you look at they found the crater where the asteroid slammed into the Earth. And based on carbon dating and tectonic plates and all that kind of stuff, they can say, that was that happened 64, 65, whatever million years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Bam. And you can, and then it's not just bones. It's things that have been fossilized in amber. That's the freaky part is there are scientists right now basically trying to create Jurassic Park. Because they've found eggs in amber, they've found dinosaurs trapped in amber or in ice. They found mammoths. So that's the thing. That's kind of an easy example. Woolly mammoths trapped in ice. Okay, so we know there was an ice age. And we know based on sediment analysis and all that kind of stuff. So that was probably and we know that we coexisted with them. Because we've got cave paintings and drawings and all that kind of stuff of men hunting, woolly mammoths, and so so that puts it that's like 10 to 12,000 years ago, so you're already kind of outside that 6,000 year scope,
Which I don't believe, by the way. I don't believe.
Yeah, no, I'll say
Mankind is 6,000 years old. But
Okay.
for my arguments,
yeah.
purpose.
So so like I said, just from that perspective, you're already past that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at things and getting back to the earlier topic of Egypt, again, sediment analysis, carbon dating, all that. We may not know how they built them, but we can tell they were 2,000 to 3,000 BC. Those were going up. Okay, so now you're at least 5,000 years back, so you're already pushing up against that. And then and then again you've got prior civilizations to that, and ruins underneath ruins underneath ruins. It's you go to like South America is a fascinating example of basically just civilizations that built on top of other civilizations that built on top of other civilizations, and you just keep digging further and further down. Yeah.
So we're still on dinosaurs, I think.
Yeah.
Why would people make up the concept of dinosaurs? What would be the point to make up a concept about dinosaurs?
There were some people that originally thought they were staged as a hoax by like the P.T. Barnums of the world, sideshows, that kind of thing. And there are some that have been faked over the years. Like they've caught scientists, I discovered a new species. No, you didn't. You just put like there happened to be 4 different sets of bones from 4 different animals, and you tried to mishmash them all together, and no. But so one of the questions, one of the things that you were talking about, Asa, that I made a note of was like the sounds. So can we know exactly what they sounded like? No. But based on things like throat structure, larynx structure, and extrapolating out based on what we know of life today. Okay, so with that kind of throat structure and that kind of bone structure around the throat, that's a similar thing that we see in like a Komodo dragon, or that we see in an alligator or a crocodile, that we see in a bird. So it's it's like you get kind of a dumb example to keep coming back to, but like Jurassic Park. Yep, the T-Rexes roared. Yep, the raptors whistled. but also had the capability of hissing and echolocation and that kind of stuff. And and some of it comes down to like eye positioning, like when they're getting this, like you learn a lot about an animal based on how its head is put together. Because you learn how okay, that's how big its brain was, and you can kind of extrapolate out max capacity and that kind of thing. Are they a predator? Are their eyes facing forward? It's to have able to locate things. Yeah.
So, Akil.
Yes.
So what is, just to conclude the dinosaurs? What is your indoor thought process on it? Then, like, what are you thinking? What do you believe then? I feel like you said everything, but like what you actually feel about the belief or the thought process of them actually existing.
I need hardcore, tangible.
What is more tangible than a physical fossil?
Because I don't. Okay, so we're gonna just dive real deep into Akil's mind right now. I don't believe anything of the world that we exist in.
So, do you believe in pyramids?
Of course, that's not what you're taking what I'm saying to like 100% heart. What I mean by that is that the construct of what our society is and what we believe, I'm not a believer of. I'm not.
So, what do you believe then in relation to this? That's what I'm asking at this point.
Oh, I already stated the last show. I don't believe dinosaurs existed.
Okay.
Yeah, I stated that the last show.
I think that the truth is a light, right? And if Akil had enough evidence, then he will believe. But I think that the bridge here is that the people who have been running the world and putting things out into the public for ages have been jumping to conclusions on many points with not necessarily enough hardcore facts and evidence. So if we go back far enough, there's even, human footprints in different parts of the planet, right? And different like staircases that you might have to use a goddamn ladder, just to get to the next step for. You know what I'm saying? All different parts of the planet. So, and pictures. I've seen pictures of not even just original people, but like just more like Asians or European descendants who like 7 and 8 feet tall, standing next to people like
Taller.
Photographs like taken of them, artwork done of these people. You know what I'm saying? So it's not too far fetched. We just need some more like evidence and hardcore facts. But that's
I guess the thing is, if it wasn't like millions of fossils that existed, it's not like a couple.
It's really not millions.
There are millions of fossils.
There absolutely are.
Absolutely.
Millions?
Yeah.
Across
absolutely.
the world, there are millions of fossils of dinosaurs. There are not like 100. There are millions of.
All I'm saying is that what they have come to.
I get what you're saying.
They jumping the gun a tad bit.
But here's what I'm saying. I get that the way that it's painted might not be accurate.
Okay.
I'm not disagreeing with that piece, but I'm saying you can't debate the physical evidence that exists.
I could, but whatever.
You had to debate millions of pieces of evidence, not just a couple. There are millions of fossils throughout this world.
They're the only person so far to make me even like second guess this was Dave, because Dave is well read. So he'll make me go home after this and do more research. Like I'm looking up stuff right now.
But so honestly, one of the best things to take a look at, just look up the term fossil record.
Mm-hmm.
So the fossil record is what brings so that's basically the timeline of the first trilobites from millions and like Carl Sagan, millions and millions of years ago, where so okay, we know there were these horseshoe crab-like things and these and trilobites that we found fossilized, and okay, great, and those are. I mean, those are a dime a dozen. Like, you can literally go to like certain places and you can take them home with you, like, because they just have cajillions of them. Yeah, when you start talking about a T-Rex skeleton or something like that, yeah, they're more rare, but they're not rare. They're hard. So, but that fossil record, and then that fossil record gets into the whole concept of evolution. Like, okay, so we know, like, okay. asteroid hits the Earth, anything with a mass greater than about 10 kilograms, dead, because it couldn't burrow. So like, basically at the end of the day, like everybody, we evolved from monkeys. No, we didn't. We really kind of, you want to get really technical about it, we evolved from like gerbils, because gerbils evolved into monkeys, which then evolved into us. Because that's the thing.
That's a whole nother conversation.
I want to jump in on that and something that you said
but that's the
too,
fossil record is, so that's the fossil record that tracks through. Okay, we know because there are no fossils over a certain size after that asteroid hit.
Just a quick question, not to cut you
Yeah.
off. Where the hell did y'all get that millions of fossils information from?
mean,
I just did a quick Google search. It said there are currently estimated 2,100 good skeletons.
that's skeletons, which includes a whole animal.
So
Fossils,
what are you talking about? Just
fossils.
bones?
Yeah, I mean, like,
No. Flag on the play.
So
Hold on.
Okay, but so it's not just bones. So that's what I was saying. So like you can go, and there are
skin,
animals
eggs.
trapped in rock. Those are fossils. There are animals that were trapped in amber. Those are fossils. You want to get really weird about it? Oil is a fossil. Because oil is what happens when, plant and animal decay and gets compressed, and yeah.
Mathematics, things break it down to the least common denominator. We can look at it like that to a degree. However, two things. One, the gerbil thing, and then the kill. You said something about like we existed, millions, billions years ago. Just to put that in context for people who are listening who may not be familiar with language like that. Are you guys familiar with Rudolf Steiner?
Yes.
My
When you
guy.
get a chance, check out Rudolf Steiner.
That is my
He has
guy.
plenty of books, but for
Esoteric
this
God.
particular conversation, he has a book called Cosmic Memory and one called Man, Earth in the Universe, or maybe Man, Universe, and Earth or something backwards. Switched it up. But anyways, Elijah Muhammad, and I'm not a religious person at all whatsoever. His language was the original man is 78 trillion years old. Right? That's the language that he used. Now, somebody would say, what? How did we was the original man, blah, 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 78 trillion years old. How does that even make sense? That would blow people's mind right there, right? The same way you did with the dinosaurs. But when he says, who are we, who are you, the people listening to this conversation, we're talking about the being, right? Not to be confused with what you look at when you look in a mirror, which is your container, your vessel, your physical instrument, your spacesuit, right? And another thing I wanted to speak on was when it comes to evolution. In order for something to evolve, it's evolving and looking and progressing in a certain manner for a reason. So it has to be some type of blueprint or involution to take place first on the other side, right? Like how we know nowadays, the scientists will tell you this out of their own mouths. What we know about as far as the physical world only makes up like 4% of the universe, right? So all of the stuff that is not physical, right, antecedent to physical matter, even magnetism and things we could detect with the most profound forms of technology that we have, there are greater portions of the creator that we as humans with our ignorant egotistical minds haven't even tapped into. So sometimes many times 99.9999% of the time we gotta humble ourselves and remember who we are and not get that confused with this form that we're in and when this might have gotten around. You know what I'm saying? Because as far as us as real beings, the essence of who we are, there's something called condensation, right? Like all the plants and the foods and all the things people be putting into their mouth when they be eating and stuff, the origin of that, if you go back far enough, is the sun. The sun, even itself, is not necessarily a big ball in the sky like we're led to believe, right? It's getting hand-me-down light from greater stars like Sirius, right? And Sirius, even if you look at Sirius, as dynamic as it is sitting inside of the blackness of what we call space, but that big, cosmic darkness that all of the planets and the suns and everything suspended in. We got to think bigger and humble ourselves if we're gonna keep it accurate. You know what I'm saying? Just to open our minds a tad bit, so we're not stuck on, like, yeah, we were 6,000 years old, or because this is what we can prove, and like that conversation is cool, but we got to take it back and honor who we really are. You know?
You just took this to Mars, and I'm trying to figure out if dinosaurs existed in this.
I'm
this
just
room.
saying.
Well, and
that,
so
that
like
go, we
your
gotta
point about
take it back.
timing, your point about timing is a good one. Like it's hard for people to wrap their head around. What is 200 million years ago? What is just from I mean that's a big number to wrap your head around.
Yeah.
I think one of the best analogies I ever heard was that if you put all of history that we know at this time, and you say, okay, it's a year. Mankind has been on this earth for about 18 seconds. That's the perspective.
I'm just saying mankind, what we refer to as mankind in this
As us,
in this
yeah.
body,
And it's physical.
the being inside of that body is way older and way more dynamic
Well,
than this watered down.
It has to be because energy doesn't die. So like we're on a real esoteric metaphysical level, where were you before you were physical in this realm? Like
This is why you don't talk about dinosaurs with people in the community, because they won't admit that these fucking bones exist and that they were probably dinosaurs, and they just can't disprove it enough. It's like I get it. I get it.
Captain, open mind over there.
I get it. It's like
I am open minded.
I am open minded. But
This dude said his knowledge of dinosaurs was like 2 YouTube videos and the dude off
I
National
didn't say it was that
Geographic.
much, but you had less to actually to take away from that conversation. You still can't disprove that those bones exist and that they were.
But that wasn't the point of this conversation. It wasn't to disprove anybody's point. We went into this saying we're supposed to be open minded about this.
Or to give me an alternative that made sense.
It don't have to make sense to you, buddy. How I think and view the world don't have to make sense to Booze, Jermaine Earl Booze. Gave his whole government
At one
too.
point in time, what we know as senses was not the all and be all right there, like hearing, seeing. People are familiar with clairvoyance, right? And touching things and being able to recall stuff that happened, necromancy and all types of stuff. But so that
Precognition, is that where you was going?
with every sense that we know of, like clairaudience, clear whatever, you can apply it to all of the so-called senses that we were taught in school. So what I'm saying here is that stuff that makes sense, when we say that term nowadays or you coin that phrase or whatever, we're referring to stuff that like the ego can get, like you got to make it edible for a baby,
right.
palatable for a baby. He can't bite into a goddamn cow butt or a juicy steak yet because he ain't got no teeth yet. So we have to water down some things to make it make sense for certain groups of people. Versus it being the raw naked truth, which might be too hot like the sun. It might burn something. You know what I'm saying? If you're not ready for that type of level or that volume. So these it's not fuck smart. Smart is the ego. We gotta, cause the truth is not about smart and shit, bro.
Whatever is above smart on the spiritual level.
Anyways,
Oh my god.
everybody is. That's another thing. Like everybody is already whole and dynamic. We just gotta wipe our eyes and wake the fuck up.
And what I try to do for people is like, he goes to Mars. Everybody ain't gonna get that shit. You are fucking like on fucking a Bugs level. I try to be in the middle with you guys because I try
Get
to.
him,
But
Gil.
and this
Get
is
him
where
back,
this is
bro.
where some of the debate comes in from a religion perspective. Because I was raised Catholic. Don't believe in it anymore, but I was.
Yeah.
And so you've got the all right. Let's talk about science versus religion, because no, they don't coexist very well. That's been true since the dawn of time as we know it. Okay, so we have carbon dating. Carbon dating says that it was the dinosaur skeleton that's sitting in the Museum of Natural History. Apply carbon dating to it. Okay, that is 67, 68, whatever million years old. Okay, the religious person then comes along and says, well, the devil just put that there to mess with you. Or that's just part of God's plan. It's God's plan that's what that carbon dating says, in order to be dismissive of the science. And this is where I started to have, this is where I struggled with religion, and this is my struggle when it comes to having that conversation. Is okay, you're telling me you can't believe the science, but you can have faith in this without proof. Like, yeah, you can not believe the proof because it's not, you don't have faith in it, but you can have faith in something that you don't necessarily have proof of.
Because somebody gave you a book and told you.
Here goes my thing with science. So Asa speaks about science a lot. you speak about it a whole lot, right? My only thing about science, and that's what I said earlier. This is what like I think. Hold on.
Okay.
But
Because I don't agree with scientists per se. Science means to know. I feel you, but I just want to
verify.
clarify.
When you're talking about like DNA or something like that, you're speaking it from like a knowledge-based, studied perspective, right? Where somebody took time to understand that philosophy of DNA and break it down, and to create a book. So with dinosaurs, this is correlated back to dinosaurs though. With science, period. Religion is not even in my psyche. So like if we bring it up, that is for the general listener. I am not a religious person.
We gotta go hard.
I don't
this
think
next episode, bro.
I don't think any of the four of us are.
But what I was about to say about science and as far as the dinosaurs go, science still, somebody in the world we live in, people there are narratives, right? And people want things to support their narrative.
Facts.
Confirmation bias.
Confirmation
It's a
bias.
huge thing.
And like that's where like, all right, I don't understand what the fuck happened when these things were around. I don't understand it. I don't. But I also know that like the narrative that's being painted might not be accurate because it's set to fit an agenda, right? And I think what Akil was saying and like about not agreeing with science is that the people who are setting those agendas I don't agree with, and they set an agenda that doesn't necessarily isn't meant to empower me or to give me the truth. It's meant to empower the
Status quo.
The status quo.
And do exactly the opposite.
And
strip that power from you.
And strip the power from me. Take away the real truth. I still believe dinosaurs exist, though. I just have a hard time. Like, it's hard for me to not believe it, based off of the evidence that exists. Again, and I hate to use it, but like, shit, you can't tell me that fucking like ancient Egyptians didn't exist because they have pyramids, the Sphinx, and all this other shit. And then the most likely was they traveled the world, or there was a culture that traveled the world that built pyramids all across this planet, because the evidence is everywhere. You know what I mean? And I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I'm just giving a perspective.
No, again, yeah, because, you see pyramids in South America. You see pyramids in the southwest of the U.S.
You see them in China. You see them, You see them everywhere.
China.
So you see them underwater in different parts of the world. So it's like there was definitely an ancient civilization that's probably spread the knowledge, but it doesn't
underwater
fit the narrative of what currently is theology or a lot of science. So therefore, people don't really put energy behind that particular thought process.
I like that, and I just want to say right here, this is the so-called age of information. So at this point, it would behoove anybody really, really striving to seek truth to be patient and to like go and seek out some scientific methods to verify or to grasp the truth, and not to have any like boxed mind when you're doing that. Like, go with your real intention for finding the truth, not what you want it to look like in the end, trying to show and prove what your opinion is or how you desire for it to be, right? So this is that time. It's a lot of heads about to get cracked, man. And in this information age, it will also behoove us to have a spirit of discernment, because there's going to be a whole bunch of info, not necessarily with an equal sign next to it and truth on the other side of that. You know what I'm saying? So humility and discernment.
So define discernment for me real quick.
So let's take it back to Anpu, or what the Greeks called Anubis. The Egyptians, since we're talking about Egypt, Anpu, right? When you see the ma'at, right, in the scales, there's 3 spheres at the bottom, and then you have 4 at the top, and you see that dog next to. You guys familiar with Tahuti, right?
No.
Yes.
So you guys see a dog or a jackal on one side, and then I think it's, what's the name of the bird? Abyss or something like that, or some type of bird on the other as the head of the other man. Not to be confused with Heru or a falcon, but another bird or whatever. Anyways, Tahuti's on the other side, and Anpu, the dog, is discerning or differentiating between whether the person that they're analyzing at the time, if their heart is lighter than a feather or not. Seeing where, like, what's about to go down with their soul on the other side of this life journey. If they're too materialistic and angry and fearful and all these, like, human emotions, if it's drowned them and made their heart heavy, they about to have to deal with the corresponding consequences. And
so, as an instructor at Cool would say, make that succinct, less words. What is discernment at that point? Because I got.
Let me give some context to the story since we talk. You can't like tell people who Jesus is without giving a background story
man.
real quick. So
Hey, this is the same dude that told you should write books in 3 days.
right.
Also,
get that book out.
But I also asked the question because I had a point to prove. Now, so I said, what is discernment to get to a point? Because you said you should use discernment.
Yeah.
And I was going to prove. I was going to further use. I was going to go somewhere with discernment in this whole process because that was really what I was trying to get to.
The ability to differentiate between different things, whether it be left or right, up or down, having a sharp or acute level of consciousness or awareness where you're able to see, like it's no, like in the Bible, no lukewarmness. Like you either on this side of the door or that side of the door. When that door closes, you're going to get squished and cracked. All your bones going to get dismantled if you don't pick a side. Discernment, being able to see what is right, what's wrong, what is and what's not. That's the, I don't know the textbook.
But that's perfect though.
Memorized definition, but that's the understanding.
So my thing, I guess, what you would ask me to define that is just saying that like my discernment tells me that. And I guess it's speaking. I'm going to dinosaurs one more time. Is that it can't be disproven that those skeletons exist. But so I can't tell you what exactly that creature was or what happened or when it existed. That was all. I think that's what my whole thing has been this whole time. Is that there is a narrative that I don't understand based around those, and I am also very skeptical of any narrative that's painted for me when it comes from particular sources. Now, just because I always know I'm trying to be. I am being deceived. I just don't like. We live in a world where I feel like I'm being lied to all the time. You know what I mean? And like, it sucks because it's like
24 hours.
It's like and I actually saw that at they have the ancient Egyptian
exhibit
down at the museum over here.
Yeah.
But
I'm trying to figure out this bird real quick though.
So I mean, like, I guess that's my whole thing with a lot of history. Period is like, there with some history, with some things we have in our ancient history, there's way more proof and way more things that you can actually build your own narrative around. With some things, man, it's like it's really hard to really have a good interpretation of what goes on, especially if you're not like studying that shit. If you're not an archaeologist and in the field and really digging deep, because you kind of just kind of go with what's given to you or try to paint your own picture. And I think I'm at a place now where, I guess like you were saying earlier, Kills, like I just don't know. And I think Dave kind of is winning this argument, or not even argument. It's kind of the person who seems to be the most knowledgeable when it comes to this particular topic, which is a lot of things. Dave knows a lot of random shit.
Man.
Us and Dave are probably the smartest people in the room. I'm number 3.
Chill on my brother.
It's like 5 people. Wait, there's only 4 of us in the room. That's my bad. All right.
Sweet.
The real I is the combined totality of all of us with no fragments in the middle.
Is that a way to say
That's
I'm not stupid?
Well, it's like you're a part of our smartness. That's what.
Trying to make you win, bro.
It's too late.
It's
too late.
All right, so we're going to wrap up this episode because this episode is long and interesting, and I feel like we can go about this.
This is part 1.
Part 1
of this episode.
Let's get somebody in here who's some type of like expert on this.
A dinosaurologist.
Have you ever had a dinosaur expert on the show?
No. But I mean, I know plenty of scientists, and I'm sure they could find one for me.
Oh, God.
Dave, I swear to God, if you find us one, that would be sweet.
A dinosaurologist.
Paleontologist.
Paleontologist.
They didn't teach you that at
That's exactly where I was going, Dave. I was going to quit this show. Jeez, a dinosaurologist.
I just realized that Asa balances out like his
dino dude.
His high level thoughts, his high level like words with like really dumb stuff like dinosaurologists.
Hey man, balance is key, bro. For sure. The universe is naturally balanced.
If you guys went on our group thread, you will see nothing but the corniest of corny jokes coming down the pipeline 24/7.
I like Asa's jokes.
Hey man.
I like them. They're like elevated dad jokes. You know what I mean? They're like funny.
Yikes.
They're like funny because I know it's Asa. You know what I mean?
Dad jokes are like terrible riddles, though. For the most part.
Hey,
trash puns and.
Let's close this
Asa's
out so
jokes.
we get to that. Let's get to this religion episode. I'm
Oh,
trying
my
to do
bad.
numbers.
Gang, gang.
All right, so
Kill,
This-
stay focused.
this is the 25th episode of the High Vibe Guys. Do you guys want to do any appreciations real quick before we jump out of here?
I appreciate Podcast Detroit
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah,
and this awesome space that we are recording out of for my own personal reasons.
The
Shout out
Detroit podcast company.
Sheesh.
Podcast
There-
Detroit
there
is
we go.
awesome.
Okay.
That too. Whatever.
And I appreciate you guys too. Last month we had a whole month of free shows coming from Podcast Detroit.
Yes.
Dave is definitely flexible. Easily one of the coolest guys we've randomly ran into, man.
Hey, thanks, man. We try.
Facts.
You are, man. You come out. You're always dealing with working with our schedule. I apologize for canceling, but I was sick for fucking ever. God
Dude,
hates me.
trust me, it happens.
Yeah,
I get it.
yeah. Coronavirus. But yeah, man. Appreciate you guys, man. We genuinely do. Asa, any appreciations?
Hey, man. I appreciate all the elders that came before us that allowed us to be here right now, man. Because it could not be any other way. If they made one step to the left or to the right, we might have not been sitting in these seats on the microphone right now. So shout out to all of everybody's grandmas and aunties and uncles, all of that stuff, all that jazz.
Bong, bong.
Interesting paper about time travel that came up, but we'll talk about that after the show.
Come on.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is this the Baron Trump
No.
deal? No? All right. Whatever. Some dude wrote a book in like 1870
About
or
the stuff
something
going
like
on
that.
now.
No,
We
he
talked
wrote a
about
book
this.
about Baron Trump,
We talked about
Donald
this
Trump's
before.
son.
This is a whole 20-minute
Did we talk about this already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did. All right, sweet.
Yeah.
I might smoke with the marijuana.
Did they not have excerpts or portions about stuff going on in today's
It
times?
might have been. It might have been.
They
Might have
did. I just apparently
wanna
you
cut
didn't
it?
read the book, but it's okay.
Appreciate you asking.
I
me
saw it on
something
the
you already
internet.
knew. All right.
All right, guys. We're going to sign out. Peace.
Peace.